Hello, everybody. Welcome to my new trade recap of last week. Last week was a less good week for me. Two trading errors that I made. So we started CHFJPY. This was 1% loss for me because we had here our weekly bullish M that could play out. Still, we were bullish, but we had still at IC to get tapped. So this was a magnet. So we went back down to that magnet, to that IC. So that's why we went back to the downside. And also because this was an impulse and corrective nature counter to the trend for a possible move to the upside back again. So what we saw also was we had here our beginning of correction. This was a high, this was a low of this corrective nature here. And we touched the beginning of correction of that corrective nature. So that's why we went impulsively to the downside till that weekly IC to get some more possible upwards momentum from there. So yeah, that's why I went to the downside, and this was a low potential trade to take it long. I was just focused on the weekly here, this weekly candle here. And yeah, we had a bullish candle, so I could look for a daily bullish pattern, but I wasn't focused too much on this weekly beginning of correction, this weekly highs where the sellers kicked in very aggressively from. So that's why I had there a loss on, because on the daily I saw, okay, we had here this clear bullish M here that could play out. My daily lows were touched, so I could take here a pattern on the 4-hour, and on the 4-hour then I saw here the inverse head and shoulders. This was also not the clearest one because from this point you cannot see this is an IC. This looks like a bearish candle, this small one. But if I zoom in, you need to zoom in very closely to see it. You see here a blue candle, and that's why I was looking at this inverse head and shoulders, and I was in doubt. So I was in doubt. So yeah, it was not good to take it. So this was a huge mistake to make. But yeah, a big lesson for me to not take these trades anymore if it's not clearly an inverse head and shoulders. And we were at some beginning of correction here where you see the bears came from. So that's why we had a loss here. Then Euro USD. If I go on the weekly chart, on the weekly, we were still bullish. We were making here this bigger bullish M. We were still going to the upside. We had here our previous weekly bullish candle close, so I could look for the daily for a pattern. And on the daily, what I saw on the daily was a daily big pattern, M, bullish M, big pattern. We have our first leg, second leg, third leg. The third leg is much impulsiver and bigger than the first leg here. So then we get at our fourth leg, and we touched our 61.80, 78.60 level. I was during this daily zone of interest at the IC. I saw this as an IC, this one. So I was looking to take here a trade, but at a big pattern, if we receive a bullish candle, then we can look after the bullish candle close on the daily for a pattern. So I went to the 4-hour, and I will refresh it. And on the 4-hour, what you can see on the 4-hour is we had here some heads. So this was the same low. So this is a double bottom. And then we had our shoulder 1 head. Then here our shoulder 2. We had here kind of smaller bullish M here. So this was a nice pattern to take. Then we went straight till the 1% profit, 1.7. My 4-hour TP was around 2%, so we just didn't tap it. So then we went straight to the downside to my break-even point here. So yeah, it was a break-even trade for me on this one. But no problem, it was a good trade. We broke also this descending trend line here. We broke it here, so that was also a nice indication. So yeah, this was Euro USD. Then the next one, GBPNZD. This was also a mistake from me. This is minus 1%. So if I go to the weekly, you can see on the weekly we were bearish. We were making this bearish W. We already hit the weekly highs, previous highs. So we could go to the downside with that weekly bearish candle close we had here. So it's nice. Then I went to the daily, and on the daily, what I saw there was this zone. I drew the head and shoulders zone to take there the head and shoulders pattern. So the shoulder one here, the head, shoulder two. But what I didn't saw was that we had a bigger pattern, and that was the bigger bearish W. So if we have a big bearish W, so you can see the first leg is less impulsive than the third leg. So this is the first leg, the second leg, and the third leg is way impulsiver than the first leg. And then we went till our head and shoulders zone. And that's what I didn't saw, that we had that bigger pattern. So normally on a bigger pattern, we need to have a bearish candle close. We didn't had that there yet. So I just needed to move it to the daily highs. And from there on, I could look to take a pattern. So if I go back like this on head and shoulders, I had here a deceleration formation. So we had here our first candle. So first, second, then I count this also as my third, this one between. So our third, and then the fourth, I could take my limit. And that's why we went -1%, because we had a bigger pattern. We could go to the daily highs here, daily previous highs, to look for a fake out or another pattern. Maybe you could see this as a deceleration here, deceleration with also this candle like this. So I will show it better to you guys. So you have here the first one, then you have the second one, the third one, and then you could set your limit right here at the beginning, at this zone. Round number to the downside, what it would be 90, like this, and then you could set your trade. And yeah, this could be a valid deceleration, because we had with this candle a daily touch of this daily zone. So this could count with that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you could go to that. So that's why I took this trade. It was yeah, also trading error, so I didn't saw that clearly, the bigger bearish W. Then AUDCAD, the last one. This was the bearish W on the daily. So if I go to the weekly, we had the bearish candle close. Nothing clear at the weekly. We were in a bullish driver here, but we had a retrace candle, weekly bearish candle. So I could look on the daily for a pattern. On the daily, I had this bearish W. So first leg, second leg, third leg, fourth leg, then a possible fifth leg to the downside. So yeah, so I drew my daily zone at the daily institutional candle. So I wanted to tap the zone. So I went to the 4-hour, and what I saw on the 4-hour was we had here our first candle, second candle, third candle, then the fourth candle aligning here. So yeah, that's why I took here diesel. This is followed by my trading plan. We touched the daily IC, and then yeah, we went to the upside, and it was a -1%, so not a trading error for me there. So this week was a -3%, so not a good week. I could have plus 0.15% in profit if I took everything right. So yeah, not a good week for me. So big lessons learned this week. So have a nice weekend, everybody, and see you next week. Bye.